Hello and welcome back. One of the ladies had a request. She wanted to know, how do you machine quilt applique? Do you do applique? What kind of applique do you like? Do you like needle turn or raw edge or both? We're going to look at a dead runner. We're going to look at a wall hanging, a banner, and we're going to look at a quilt. All three projects have raw edge applique, and I quilted them just a little bit different in each instance. Okay, enjoy the replay. And remember, it's a condensed version. I'm only going to talk about the specific applique techniques and show you the examples, and I'll catch you at the end. So we're going to go over each of these projects. Each one is a little bit different. Let's start with the first one. For the leaf, I used the Quilt die cutter for the leaf. Now when you look at this leaf, look at all those points and turns. It's a beautiful leaf, but when I thought about doing a blanket stitch on that, I had nightmares. There's no way that I was going to do a blanket stitch around those leaves. So I did what I normally do, is just do a tight stitch all the way around the edges. You want to learn how to stitch free motion around shapes, in a straight line, stitch in a ditch. When you practice those techniques, being able to stitch around this kind of leaf and be consistent comes with practice. I cut 2 leaves. One was black for a shadow, and the second was the actual leaf on top. Here's the key. The shadow must be the same direction for every piece. So if you have 5 leaves, all the shadows must go in one direction because the light is coming from that direction. So that means the shadows must all go the same direction. Okay, here you can see how the shadows are all going in the same direction. This is a bed runner. This is not a tabletop runner, but it's a bed runner. We have the piece top, the shadow, and then the leaf on top. And then underneath is one layer of batting, and the edge is stitched. Notice in this stage, I've stitched the top leaf with a burgundy thread. I have not stitched the black shadow leaf yet. The next step was to make the quilt sandwich. Now that I've made the quilt sandwich, stitching the top of the leaf with the veins, and then taking black thread and stitching along the edge of the shadow and all the way around the leaf, the edge of the orange part of the leaf. The reason why I used black thread was to continue with that shadow theme. Even though all the shadows are going one direction, if you think about it, there's still going to be a slight darkness under the rest of the leaf. You're not going to see a lot, but you're still going to see a little bit. And so just doing one little line of thread around the rest of the leaf in black gives it that illusion. In the back, you can see the black thread that went all the way around, and you see what was the gold thread that I used for the veins of the leaf. You don't see 2 outlines of a leaf. You only see one outline, and that's the black thread. Now that the leaves are all done separately, now the background has to be stitched. And the background was stitched based on the theme of the bed runner. I used my design called Dots and Swirls to quilt the background. So the leaves are swirling around in the wind, and the 3D effect makes it look like they're running across the surface. But if you want to learn how to do these swirls, watch the video. There's a video on my channel. Just go to the playlist and you can learn how to do the swirls. The leaf had multiple steps. We had a shadow, we had quilting around the leaves, we had veins to quilt. All of that to create this beautiful, gorgeous texture and three-dimensional quality. All right, so we are going to switch now to a banner that you can put on your wall or on your door. I made this small banner. It's called my love banner. And this one was done with ruler quilting. Most of the applique that I showed you in the bed runner, except for the snowflake at the very end of the bed runner, all of it was done with free motion quilting. On this banner, it's done with ruler quilting. The banner was pieced, sandwiched, and then ruler quilted with this serpentine ruler. I just love those curves. Then, but applique with a ruler, a heart ruler. So the banner was pieced, then quilted, then rectangles with stabilizer were placed on top of the quilted banner, and I ruler quilted hearts on top of those rectangles right through the banner. You see the heart template, it's by Westalee Design, but you can do this with any template, it doesn't have to be a heart. After it's stitched, then you just cut away with your duckbill scissors or whatever scissors you use to trim applique. This is another raw edge applique technique. So there is, after the heart was stitched, you can see how that heart shape is created with the template. Did you think that you could do applique and ruler quilting together to create the applique? And it doesn't have to be a heart, it could be any ruler shape you like. It could be a circle, it could be a square, it could be a star. You get to decide, you're the designer. I love this banner. All right, now we're down to the last one. I showed you two. Raw edge with free motion quilting, trapunto, shadow effects, veiny leaves. We just saw another raw edge using a ruler, a heart ruler, to do the applique for us. Now let's look at this one. The blanket stitch on this one was a lot easier than trying to do it on that leaf. Smoother, not as many sharp turns. Here's what it looks like. Did you notice I didn't do any fancy designs on the butterfly? I could have. This was stitched on my sit-down long arm or juki. The blanket stitch takes a little time to stitch around the butterfly, but it creates a beautiful design. And then the quilting around it is whatever you prefer. It's whatever you like. So, what do you think? You think you're gonna try one of those machine quilting techniques with your next applique project? Which one did you like? Was that shadow technique interesting? And how I used 3 different thread techniques to give that leaf a beautiful 3-dimensional look? I just love it. The texture of it, the look of it is just gorgeous. But what about the quick and easy ruler quilting method to stitch applique? You decide which one you want to try, and don't go big. Always practice on a small piece first to see what you like to make your project a success. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.